Hey, 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 it's Tia, baby. And I am back with another video. So, I know it's been a minute and it's my fault because, like I said, if you don't know, I am expecting. So, a lot of the times, a lot of the reasons why I haven't posted a video is due to laziness. I'm not even going to sugarcoat it. You know, carrying a child is hard. And I mean, I know people have, it's been worse for others and it's been better for others. Me, I'm more neutral. I have my good days and I have my bad days. But I was just looking out in the space. But, you know, it just made me a lot lazy. And then I had, on top of that, I'm working 2 jobs. And then I'm also going back to school to get my master's. So I just haven't had the energy nor the motivation to do a video. But I'm going to do one since I haven't done one in a minute. And yeah, so I'm going to do another scenario video on how, in my perspective, how Selena could have been saved. Now, I think I did one a couple of months ago. If I haven't, then forgive me. But okay, so this scenario on how Selena could have been saved will be, okay, so we all know that the night before she died, her and Chris went to the hotel to meet her to retrieve the documents. He drove Selena to the Days Inn. And Selena went up to meet Yolanda by herself while Chris stayed in the car. But he realized that Selena was taking too long. So he went up there to check on her to see what was going on. And so when he did, they were still talking. Selena and Yolanda was talking about, you know, whatever they were talking about. I forgot what they were talking about. I don't know if it was about the documents or it was about something else. But I know that when he came up there, they both noticed the gun that she was going to use, the gun that she used to kill Selena. But of course, they didn't know that she was going to use that gun to kill Selena because, of course, it was the day before. But Selena asked what was the gun for, and then she said it was for protection. Because she was attacked in Mexico. You know, some bull crap excuse to, you know, justify her having a gun. Them not knowing that the gun was for her. And I noticed in the book, Chris stated that he should have, I guess he questioned himself. He should have told Abraham about the gun, but he don't know why he didn't tell. And I really don't know if that would have even made a difference, because like I said, had Abraham got Yolanda locked up from the jump, when he found out that she stole money from her business and stuff, then none of this wouldn't have happened. She wouldn't have been able to buy a gun. It wouldn't have to been no meetups at no hotels, because she's in jail. So she can't take her documents and everything with her. So it would have all been avoided. So I really don't think that him telling Abraham about the gun would have made a difference, because for one, I think Abraham would have brushed him off, because, you know, it's Chris. He really didn't like Chris from the jump. And 2, if he didn't even lock Yolanda up for stealing, What makes you think he's not going to lock her up for having a gun? I mean, he may take it serious because it's a gun, but this is Abraham, and I know I'm saying this man's name. Like I said, it's been a while. Excuse me. That's the only time you'll hear me say his name. I'm not saying it again after that. Dictator. Yeah. I really don't think Dictator would have taken it too serious because he brushed off everything else. Because, like I said, embezzlement is a serious crime. I don't know. It varies from state to state, but I know some states, they give people 5 years for embezzlement. But she stole a large amount of money. And she would have probably got some serious time. But he let her go. He didn't call the police. He threatened to call the police, but he didn't call the police because he just told her, don't set foot in neither one of these businesses ever again, or I will call the police. I'm like, that's ass backwards. You should have called the police right then and there and had her locked up because she stole thousands on thousands on thousands of dollars. But he didn't do it. So I really don't think it made a difference if Chris would have told. Even though I do think he should have said something to the family that she had a gun. And maybe somebody in the family other than the dictator would have taken it serious and called the police on her or whatever because she stole and now she got a gun. They probably think that, oh, the gun is for a dictator or whatever. So they may have taken things a little serious. But I don't think Dictator would. I think because he's so macho, he probably would have brushed it off and said, oh, she's just trying to scare us or whatever. Just keep an eye on Selena, when he should have locked her up, had her locked up from the jump. But he didn't. And that's why all this stuff has happened. So I think that, yes, he should have still told the dictator that Yolanda had a gun. I think he should have told the whole family, not just the dictator, but the whole family, because I think somebody probably would have taken it serious and took proper protocol. But I don't know why he didn't. He don't know why he didn't to this day. I don't know. I don't know. I don't know if it was because based on what Yolanda said when Selena asked her, why did you need a gun? Why you need a gun? And she said for protection because she was quote unquote attacked in Mexico. So I don't know. Maybe that was the reason why he didn't tell, because he may have believed her. I don't know. Maybe because he was just young and dumb. Who knows why he didn't? Because it's a lot of things that he has said in the book that made me question Chris. Not question Chris like he's suspicious or whatever, but question him like, was he all the way there in terms of intelligence? Because it was a lot of things that he should have said that he didn't say. Maybe it was fear. Maybe because I know he was very shy and everything, and her family wasn't all the way, well, certain people in her family wasn't all the way keen about him. So maybe he was like not confident enough to say certain things about Yolanda to them because he didn't want to stir up anything or cause any issues, or may have thought that, he don't got all the right facts in the story. So maybe that's why he didn't say. Who knows? But I still think he should have said something regardless and let things manifest that way, but can't do nothing about it now. So, okay, so I gave that fact, in terms of that they met her at the hotel the night before she passed. All right, so when they got home, Selena went through the papers and she realized that Yolanda didn't give her the entire amount of, paperwork that she needed to file the taxes. So she told Chris. She was upset. Like, why didn't she, why did she give me half? I need all of it. We can't do nothing about this. We need to, file for our taxes and all of that. And she was going to go back. But Chris was like, nah, we're not going back tonight. It's late. We'll handle it, another day. I don't remember if he said we'll handle it tomorrow or another day. But she was fed up. And I think she called Yolanda and left a message. No, she called Yolanda, talked to her and said, you only gave me half of the documents. I need all of them to file my taxes. And so I think on the other end, Yolanda told her, okay, well, can you meet me tomorrow morning and I'll give you the paperwork. Now, I don't think she told Chris that she was going to meet with Yolanda to get the documents. I think that she withheld that from him. Because I feel, some people say in the comments that she did tell him, and in that movie, in that Netflix movie, it states that she told him. But I don't think she did, because based on the book, he was not aware that she was going to go meet with Yolanda. He was not aware of that. Otherwise, he would have went with her. Because she got up really early in the morning and got in the shower and all that. And Chris was still asleep. He only woke up. He was he knew that she was in the shower. He heard the shower running and all that, but he didn't think nothing of it because he was, half asleep. Until, she got dressed, and then she screamed when she was in the hallway because his father was staying there for the week, and she forgot, and he startled her when he left out the room the same time she left out her room. And that's when Chris woke wide awake. And he was like, what's wrong? And Selena was like, oh, nothing. And he didn't even think, because he had said in the book that he didn't even think to ask where she was going. So he didn't even know, because if he known, he would have had an idea, and he would have told her, all right, I'm going to go with you. Because especially after they saw the gun. So for some reason, she did not tell him that she was going to meet with Yolanda the next day to get the other documents. I'm assuming she probably didn't tell him because he already said, we'll just go another time. We don't want it because, for one, it's late. Two, she got that gun and all of that crap, but, in Selena's mind, she was still trusting Yolanda because she don't think that, even though she had that gun, she didn't think that she would do anything to her, because that in her mind, they were, good friends or whatever, regardless of the fact that she stole, but she didn't think she had a bone to kill anybody. So I think that's probably why she didn't tell Chris that she was going to meet with her the next morning, because she probably felt that Chris was going to say, no, let's wait. Let's get the police involved. He may have stalled the situation in her mind. So she felt like, I need to handle this myself. So maybe that's why she didn't tell. And he regret not asking her where she was going, because I guess usually he did, but at that moment he didn't. Maybe because he was still half asleep. I don't know. He was still tired. But she didn't tell him where he was going. She was just like, oh, nothing, because when he heard her scream, oh, I just forgot. She was like, oh, I just forgot that your dad was staying here, was here. So she did whatever she did. Then she was going to take her car, but she realized her car didn't have no gas. And so she got Chris' car keys. She got Chris' car keys, and she grabbed his phone. I don't know why. I think because her phone was dead. She didn't have no gas in her car. So, because Chris said that she's really, that was a bad habit of hers, that she will always drive her car until it was like on E. And I'm like that too sometimes, where I don't feel like going to the gas, even though I force myself to go to the gas station when I know my car is running out of gas. So I understand why she was doing that, but he didn't like her doing that because it can mess up, it can mess up the car or whatever. But so she realized her car didn't have no gas in it, and then her phone was dead. So she took his phone and she took his car keys. Now I don't think she even told him that she was taking that, because he went back to sleep. And so she took the truck, and she took his phone, and she met up with Yolanda. And like I said, he didn't realize that she took his car and his phone until he got a call from from him, from the dictator, because she was supposed to meet up with the dictator to record some songs, or they was some studio time, but she was running late. I think she was supposed to meet up with him around 10 in the morning or whatever. I don't know. And it was already like 11. I don't know. But she was running late. But they know that Selena is usually late for everything. So it was kind of typical of her. But he called her because they were supposed to meet at the studio and she never came because she was still meeting up with Yolanda. So, he was getting ready to grab his phone, but he realized his phone was gone and his car was gone. So she must have took my phone. So she had to call his cell phone on the house phone and let her know that, hey, your dad called looking for you. You supposed to meet up with him at the studio. And she was like, oh yeah, I just have to handle some things, but I'll be there, whatever. But I don't think she still didn't tell him that she was with Yolanda, because I guess she didn't want nobody to worry. So that was that. All right, so that was the factual details of coming up to when she got killed. Now the scenario, like I said, a part of the scenario was the night before when they saw the gun. I think Chris should have told the family as a whole that she had a gun, even though she said that it was for protection. I believe one of them would have had a brain, and which I think the mom, or maybe A, B, C, D, F, G, one of them would have, went to the police or said, we need to go to the police because we don't know what she's capable of. She already stole thousands of dollars from the boutique. What makes you think she's not going to use that gun on somebody, on one of us? So, because we didn't think she would steal money, and she did. So I think that we need to have the police involved. Now, I think somebody would have been sensible enough to do that. The only people that I think would have held back on it was the dictator and Selena. Selena for different reasons, because she still had, those feelings for her in terms of friendship. Like she didn't want to, she still had gave her the benefit of the doubt. And I think that's what will make her reluctant on them calling the police on her. The dictator, because the dictator. I don't know. He's just macho like that. So I don't know if he probably would say nah, because he don't want the media or anything like that to get involved and things go out of proportion. He thinking probably like business wise why he why he didn't want the police involved, or whatever. Like it will mess up the business, it will mess up this and this and this because of the media and all that, because she was real popular in Texas. So I think that instead of thinking about the safety of the family and his child, he more thinking about exposure and all of that. So that's why I think he wouldn't call the police. But I think that would have prevented her from getting killed if Chris would have told the family about the gun, because I think somebody would have took it serious. 2, if Abraham would have got the police involved from jump once he saw the records of her stealing money and the checks and stuff like that. I think if he would have gotten the police involved and had her arrested, none of this would have happened. She would have got her documents. She wouldn't have to meet her at the hotel. She would have still been alive to this day, because Yolanda would have been put away for some years. And by that time, by those years, Selena would have had her house built, and she would have had a new address. So she wouldn't have access to that. She would have had bodyguards, cameras, and stuff like that. And, full on security where it's impossible for you to get in the house without someone entering you in. And she would have had bodyguards, bodyguards now to escort her from A to Z. And also, yeah, so I think by the time Yolanda got out of jail, she wouldn't have as much access to her as she did when she was working for them. 3, also, let's see, what else? Oh, yeah. When I mentioned in a previous video about the murals that Martin Gomez saw in her house. Now, I don't know for sure if he told the dictator or any other family that there were murals of Selena all over her house. I think the only person he told was Selena, and Selena brushed it off. I think he may have told, because it was him and another co-worker from the boutique that went and saw that. I think all the workers knew about it, but I don't think Abraham, because I'm just going to go ahead and say his name in this video only. And, the family, I don't think they knew about the murals until the aftermath. But he told Selena, and Selena brushed it off. I felt like this, because he went to her house to retrieve some fabric, him and another employee. I don't know how he got access to Yolanda's house. I don't know how he got the key. I don't know how he got that. Unless Selena had a key to the house, to her apartment, and she gave it to him. I don't know how, but whatever the case may be, once he told Selena about the murals and Selena brushed it off, I felt like he and the other person that went with him should have went back to the house, to the apartment, and got a disposable camera, or not even disposable camera, but the Polaroid cameras where the things already come out. That they should have took pictures of her apartment, showed it to Selena first. This is what was in Yolanda's house. Do you think that this is normal behavior to have? Now, it's one thing to be a fan, but this is obsession, because it's literally a whole wall full of your pictures, candles, and all of that. Like it's a seance, like she's worshiping you. Now, do you think that this is normal behavior? Now, if that don't spook Selena out, I don't know what will. Then, if she still brushed it off, if I was him, I would have showed those pictures to Dictator, and I would have showed those pictures to the police. Even though the police may have not done anything, because they probably would say, well, did she threaten her? Did she threaten her in any way? Because if it wasn't no physical harm, it's nothing they can do. If it's just pictures all over the wall, they'll probably just take it as, oh, she's just a fan. Not like it's innocent. But I still would have, if I was him, he still should have showed those pictures to the Dictator. He still should have showed those pictures to the rest of the family. Because I really feel like the Dictator probably would have brushed it off too. He probably would have thought that it was strange, but he probably wouldn't have thought it was something life-threatening because it's just pictures. But I felt like one of the siblings, or both, especially the mom, would have been a little uncomfortable about that. Like, that's not normal. Why is it plastered everywhere? They would have, had a watchful eye on her once he showed them evidence that she was crazy, that she was obsessed. That, I felt like, would have kind of not prevent her from passing away per se, but I think they would have had a watchful eye on her, and will start watching her every move, and start limiting her access to Selena, because she had almost complete access to Selena. She had the key to her house. She had the keys to the businesses. She had access to everything. So if he would have showed them that, I think they would have started limiting access towards it. They wouldn't like say, oh, we gotta lock her up because she got pictures everywhere. I just think that they would have just maybe like, all right, well, maybe we should change the keys to the boutique. Maybe we should have changed. Maybe we should change the keys to her house, or maybe we should get more security or whatever to protect her at the when she goes to the boutique or when she goes to her house or something like that, or get some security cameras. But I think it will start, things like that will start occurring now that he showed them what she's doing, like what's in her home and stuff. So I just think that it was not a lot of communication to what people knew about Yolanda to the family. Yes, Martin Gomez did speak to her father about how she was acting, at the boutique, and that the workers were saying that she was mean. But that's like minimum tattletelling stuff. Like the big stuff he should have said, which was the mural. And just like Chris should have said something about the gun and all of that. So I just think that those three things should have been a key factor. Not only just saying it to the dictator, because obviously he wasn't going to do nothing, because he didn't do anything when he found out she stole, and he saw the documents proving that she stole. He just let her go. That is a crime, and he just let her go. I felt like, even though the family knew about the checks and all of that, but at the end of the day, it was up to the dictator to make the final say, because he was in charge of everything. But I still feel like they should have known about the murals, and they should have known about the gun. And I think once they knew about the gun, the murals of her, and then then she stole from her, I think that would have been an automatic red light. That would red flag, excuse me. We need to call the police on her, because she stole thousands of dollars from Selena's business. A, she got pictures plastered all over her walls of Selena and candles. B, now she got a gun, claiming it's for protection. We don't know what she's capable of. This lady is crazy. We need the police involved. So then that's when all those three clues, if the family knew about every single one of those three clues, then I think they would have got her arrested. If not dictator, somebody in the family, because you stole. Then you got pictures everywhere of Selena, and then on top of that you have a gun. And even though she said it was for protection, we don't know that was really true in their eyes. So if they would have known that, I think that would have been even more push to call the police, and then none of this would have happened, and she would have still been alive to this day. Period. So that's my take on it. That's what I think should have went down. I know it was all over the place, but you get where I'm saying, because this was a last minute video. But yeah, like, comment, subscribe. Let me know what you think in the comment section about those scenarios, about what should have happened, what should have went down, what should have been told, and all of that. And even still, not even only tell the family, I think Chris and Martin Gomez, I think Martin Gomez should have told Chris and Selena that about the murals. He only told Selena. I don't know why Selena didn't tell Chris, because she brushed it all, the whole thing off. But what I will say is, Chris should have went to the police about the gun. The dictator should have went to the police about the embezzlement. Gomez should have went to the police about the murals and showed pictures of what he saw. He should have went back to the apartment and took pictures to prove. That woman would have been arrested. Once there was record that she stole money, that would have been the icing on the cake. The bottom tier would have been the pictures. The middle tier would have been the gun. And then the upper tier would have been her stealing and the money. And then she would have been prosecuted, and she would have got some time. She probably would have got 10 years. And by then, Selena would have been long gone, doing her thing, had no access to Yolanda. Yolanda has no access to Selena and all that. And then by then, technology was improving, and stuff like that. So she would have been here. But it didn't happen that way, unfortunately. But that's just my take on what what could have went down in order to save her or prevent her from passing away in that way or whatever. Like I said, give me your opinion in the comments. None of that nonsense about me being obsessed with Selena, because I am not. I'm giving what the people want, period. If you don't like it, don't watch, period. All right, like, comment, subscribe, and I'll be back with another video. Peace.